I've sat down and studied the behavior and patterns of President William Samoei Ruto, and I've come to the conclusion that we are dealing with a radical feminist president. In this video, I'm going to give you some of the reasons which have drawn me to this conclusion. You have to draw your conclusions from facts. Having said that, with no further ado, let's get after it. Reason number one, instead of looking for a competent deputy, which is what the country desperately needs, Ruto has committed himself to shop around for just any woman to deputize him. And you don't even have to take my word for it. Just listening to what he had to say in Kasarani in front of Wanga, Waiguru, Kihika, and the rest. Roll the tape.
When Rigiji and myself tukifika hapo mbele na tumepangana, tumekubaliana vile itaenda, we must also agree that going forward, if a man is a candidate for president in our party, the woman must be the runner.
That's where we get it wrong. I, for one, don't believe that we should just set out from the beginning to have a female deputy or a female president. We should be looking for competence. Even this 2/3 gender rule, I, for one, don't agree with it. We should be looking for competent leaders, whereby if 2/3 of the leaders we have perhaps in parliament are women, but those are the competent leaders that we have amongst us, let it be so. It is not about gender, it is about competence. But the president is making it a gender issue, not even because it's a productive way of sharing seats and whatnot, but because it's a nice way for him to con his way into the votes of women. And as we speak, ni kama tayari Ruto ame-identify Gladys Wanga, cause washaanza kushikana mikono na kucheka pamoja kila mahali. Just have a look at this image. And unknown to President Ruto, he's putting us in a very bad spot. You know, Magufuli alicheza mchezo moja hatari. He put a dangerous leader as his deputy, thinking she's just a nice pet. Mtu ambaye hana ubaya, ni mtu very submissive, anafuata maagizo, and so on and so forth. He died. No one knows the day they'll die. So he died outside of his preparations. And then that deputy, called Suluhu Hassan, became president. Na ndo mtu ambaye anaiba kura sana hii East Africa. Hapa tuko na wezi wengi wa kura hii Kenya. None is stealing at 98%. None is blatantly killing protesters na anazima social media. Hiyo ni jangwa ililetwa in Tanzania through Magufuli. Now President Ruto wants to bring Gladys Wanga as his deputy. Siasa ni 50-50. You never know how it will go. If they get a second term, Wanga achiwe system, sababu hii nchi system ndo inapiga kura, na aende akue rais. Mtu ambaye anasema ati amechora laini in between herself and Gachagua and his ilk. Hii ilk ya Gachagua ndo nani? Is it Kevin Gachagua the son, or is it the people of Mlima Kenya? Also somebody who goes out of her way to attack a retired president in the name of Uhuru Kenyatta just so that she can gain mileage with Ruto. Would we want such a person as president? When you are selecting a deputy, you must understand, you're not just selecting a deputy. Huyu mtu ni kama spare wheel ya gari. Spare wheel ya gari hujui itatumika lini, but lazima itatumika siku moja. At one point Uhuru surrendered his powers and went to Hague. Ruto was president. Ruto hajakuwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya after 2022. He was president long before. Aliachiwa mamlaka, was it 2-3 days or so? So let us carefully pick a good spare wheel, not because of gender, but because of competence na mtu ambaye ako emotionally intelligent. Si mtu atakasirika aseme ule alinitusi Twitter, enda uwa yule. We don't want that kind of instability. Second reason why I say the president is looking more like a feminist to me is the fact that he has a female aide-de-camp in the name Damaris Agnita. I, for one, have no problem with Damaris Agnita. She's an outstanding professional. She has come up through the ranks, and she's beautiful in her own rights. She checks all the boxes of the men and women we want in service. However, we must take a case study from the Bill Clinton White House. Bill Clinton, when he was president, there was a lady who was interning by the name Monica Lewinsky. And to the shock of the nation, the American nation for that matter, they came to discover that rais wa Jamhuri ya Amerika anapita na intern ambaye anaitwa Monica Lewinsky pale kwa Oval Office. Not once, not twice, not thrice. Ilikuwa ni mtindo. I'm not saying that is what we have in Kenya. I'm saying that we must create an environment whereby the presidency is protected from scandals, protected from traitors, protected from manipulation, protected from all angles. Sijaona Samia Suluhu na aide-de-camp ambaye ni mwanaume. What would a man be doing standing behind a woman constantly? Sometimes she's moving through a crowd, you have to touch her. You have to spring into action. So some of these things I see them and I say, no malice for now, but what happens if this scandal becomes a reality down the road when we have our 6th, 7th or 8th president? Pia sisi tusikie tuko na jamaa anapita na intern pale State House ama State Lodge. It would be a bad day for this country. Third thing which makes me believe the current president is a feminist is the appointment of Soipan Tuya to the Ministry of Defense. Nothing personal to Soipan Tuya, but my personal take is if you're going to become CS of Defense, you ought to have served in the military under some form of capacity. My dad served in the army. I have a cousin who is a vet pale, siezi mtaja because she is active. And so if that cousin of mine who is a veterinary doctor, the first in Kenya actually, the first female veterinary doctor to make it there, if that person is promoted to that particular seat, we can say yes, much as ni a lady ameserve kwa jeshi. But you just go and pick somebody who has no combat skills, hajakuwa blue helmet, hajaenda Afghanistan, hajafanya joint military operations, hajakuwa hata private, they are now going to learn on the job. Huyu ndo yule anakuanga chini anaitwa cadet, huyu ndo huyu ni lieutenant colonel, huyu ni sijui what star general. You are now learning on the job. Those three reasons for me is enough to say that the president is looking more and more like a feminist. You don't just pick people because of gender, you pick people because of competence. And if competence is what makes us have a cabinet which 2/3 ni wanawake, so be it. If competence is what gives us a national assembly which is packed with women and 3 men, so be it. But it can't just be about gender. Tukileta 2/3 gender rule kwa mambo ya mechanics, si kuna radiators itamwaga maji kila mahali. But anywho, that's just my opinion, guys. Do drop me your comments in the comment section below. Perhaps I'm being too harsh, perhaps I'm right on it. Just let me know and I'll do my best to read your comments and to give you a response. And with that, here are today's ads of the day. If you're in need of office partitioning or home interior works, i.e. kitchen cabinets, modern media walls, wall decoration, wainscoting, wardrobes, tiles, bathrooms, window blinds, gypsum and so on, reach out to Suima's Interiors at 07170 443 or info@suimas.co.ke and they'll get all your needs sorted out. Whatever it may be, all interior works, these guys are the best at it. If you're in need of electrical wiring, solar installation, or electrical fittings such as strip lights, snake lights, downlighters, or chandeliers, contact Engineer Wycliffe at 0707 476602 and he'll get your house dapped up. And if you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching for a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula. Hit the subscribe button, you're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really, really need to subscribe to. All right, guys, adios. Thank you for choosing David Wafula as your primary news platform. We put countless hours in research, recording, and editing. By showing up each and every day to watch our videos, you encourage us to generate more videos for the viewers. We are on a mission to inform, educate, and build a better tomorrow. To our thousands of followers in a world full of presidents, kings, and queens, you are the real gem. Adios.